Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'd like to do is just kind of go over some of the things you're going to need to know to be able to multiply complex numbers. Now, first of all, when multiplying complex numbers, basically just like we'd multiply polynomials or even multiply, expressions, we need to make sure we know the distributive property. And just a quick, note, distributive property here. A times b plus c, you need to make sure you multiply a times b and times c. However, once we start getting into like binomials times binomials and binomials times trinomials, then the FOIL becomes a little bit more important, and especially the box method. Now, I always prefer to use the box method. However, if you remember FOIL, one thing that we use with FOIL is kind of like the FOIL face, or you could actually spell out FOIL if you would like to, but I always like to just make sure when you're applying FOIL, it's basically the distributive property again. You're multiplying everything to everything. The next thing is when multiplying complex numbers is we need to make sure we know our variations of our imaginary unit I. And making sure that we understand what I represents, what I squared equals, I cubed and I fourth. And remember, that's where it starts repeating. So we don't really need to necessarily know what I to the fifth is, sixth, seventh, and eighth, but we do know how to simplify to these forms. So you're going to want to make sure that also you can simplify down to these. Because we might be multiplying, it might get something like I to the seventh or something, and you want to make sure you know how to simplify that. The last thing is simplify expressions with I. And basically what I mean by simplify expressions is combining like terms, adding the real numbers, adding the imaginary terms. So make sure you know how to add and subtract so we can simplify it so that once we're completed multiplication that we can rewrite it as one single complex number in the form of a plus bi. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's just kind of a quick, brief little overview on what you're going to need to know to multiply complex numbers. Thanks.